Hi, may I have everyone's attention, please, real quick? I'm Patty McCarthy with Iowa City Public Library, and I thank you very, very much for being here. Before we go live on the air, I just want to go through a couple of things with the team members. Many of you have been here before. Thank you for returning, and to those who are new, thank you very much. Basically, you are seated in the order that you will spell for the first few rounds. So this team from Bradley and Riley will go first. They will come up to this microphone. We have two volunteers from the Friends Foundation Board of Directors who will help you guys keep the alternating order going. The end goal here is to cut down on the amount of time it takes to come up to the microphone so that while cameras are switching, a team is already there, ready to go. This gets a little hinky when teams start going out of the competition because it could very well be that all of the members over here are in, and this won't happen. Everybody over here is out. So you then will change the microphone. You won't go to this one. You'll come over here. We'll help you keep the order going, though. So bottom line, thank you. This is a fun event. I know it's serious too, but it's also fun. So have fun. Okay. Now, we have like 2 more minutes. You can talk again. Okay. All right.
Kinesics.
I don't know.
Is that about
Where is
the?
I shall find it.
Yeah, that's body motion. Yeah. Kinesics.
Okay.
I guess there is an alternate pronunciation of kinesics, but I've heard kinesics.
Yeah.
Kinesics. Iskitchen?
Iskutchen. I think I've heard Iskutchen before.
Okay, yeah, it is on that one. Iskutchen.
Yeah, I don't remember what it means, but.
Iskutchen. Coat of arms.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Iskutchen.
Well, the clock says it's 6:30, so I'm going to say welcome. We look like we're having some last-minute changes here. This is the 14th Annual Iowa City Spells, S-P-E-L-L-S. That's all I can do. That's all I will do. Thank you. This is the Adult Spelling Bee, which is hosted by the Iowa City Public Library Friends Foundation as a benefit for the library. I'm Patty McCarthy, the library's development director, and I am very grateful to everyone who is here to either participate in the spelling bee and brought a lot of books for our used bookstore, the Bookend, up on the 2nd floor of the library, as well as the folks who are tuning in on Library Channel, Cable Channel 10 at home. And as you know, this is broadcast live, and then it's shown over and over and over and over. And we see Bill through the years, and many of us through the years. But anyway, tonight there are 9 teams who will be competing for the beautiful trophy over here and gift certificates that are very generously donated by Prairie Lights Books, as well as the Bookend bookstore. And thanks to the sponsorship of Hans Jewelers, every dollar that has come through the team sponsorships goes to help the library buy more books, more videos, more magazines. Yes, thank you. And help us keep up with the ever-increasing demand for services and materials here at the library. So thank you all for your generous support. Please join me in welcoming Bill Nusser, the owner of Hans Jewelers, and Jennifer Whitmore, who will be our Masters of Ceremony. I couldn't bring myself to write master and mistress. Anyway, so Masters of Ceremonies tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Patty, and good evening, everybody. And I don't know, Jennifer, you strike me as being somebody who'd make a great mistress.
I'm not even going to comment on that.
Well, here we go. Many of you, like I can see maybe Missy Molliston, or maybe Kathy Schweer, or maybe Emily Bennett, or maybe Dan Daly, might remember you from back
Way
8
back
years
then.
ago. Jennifer was a co-host with me, and So a number of you, I'm sure, look familiar to her. I know she was looking at the sponsor list and saw a few names you remember, didn't
That's
you?
right,
Yeah,
that's
so
right.
we're thrilled to have all of you again this year, the teams that have come back, and the new teams, we're happy to have you too. And so we have a lot of different things to go through, and so let's just get on and introduce everybody and get going with the teams, all right?
I just want to say I'm delighted to be back in this new part of the library. It is so fun to come back to Iowa City and see all the new things and the changes, and this is truly one of the jewels of Iowa City, so it's fun to be back.
Yeah.
It's really fun to be back. It's also fun to have Bill wear a sweater that's actually a test pattern for television. So that's why we have that on there. So.
Yeah, it's to cover up that every year that you see me on Public Access 2, I get bigger and grayer and.
My
and
hair's
little-
not really white. If you're out there watching in TV land, it's actually red. It just looks white on TV.
Nothing registers well at all. So who are pronouncers, Jennifer?
Oh, I have to get the glasses on. I didn't wear those when I did this before, but we have Joan Kerr, Interim Director of Communications and Relations for International Programs at the University of Iowa. That is a very big title. I'm very impressed. And host of the monthly television and radio program, World Canvas. So please welcome Joan.
I might add that nobody smells better than Joan Kerr. She's the best smelling woman in town, which, too bad, the same thing cannot be said of Ben Kiefer,
Your
who we're
wife
welcoming.
is here. I just wanted to
Oh,
point
that's
that
right,
out.
my wife is here. Well,
Yeah.
except for Betsy. Anyway, Ben is of the Iowa Public Radio and host of the popular programs Java Blend and The Exchange. And you can also be seen in on Library Channel doing some other shows too. There's a dictionary show that still runs,
Well,
I think.
that's years old, but yes, it still comes out.
Why don't you get any heavier, Ben?
Give me a few years.
Okay. And a new twist this year for Iowa City Spells has Joan and Ben splitting the word presentation duties for both the team and the audience. So audience, pay attention. They'll both be giving you your words, and they'll be pronouncing both of them will be pronouncing too. So we're excited.
Now, our esteemed judge, who's officially named here as Sheldon, but I don't think anybody knows you as Sheldon. They know you as Shelley Kurtz, a University of Iowa law professor, a good friend, and to many. Shelley is well known in this community and gives freely of his time and his talents. Shelley will determine whether the words have been correctly spelled, and he will make sure that all the rules have been followed. That's the law professor in you.
And at the same table, we have Susan Craig, who is the director of the Iowa City Public Library and has been for how many years, Susan?
Long time.
Long time, and more than you'd like. She's the timer, so she'll let you know, teams, when you've gone too long, or and when what she says goes, as everybody else will tell you around here.
Okay.
And let's see, what else? Oh, and then we have Maeve Clark, our Foley artist here. There we go. Who Maeve, every year that table gets more filled, and. There we are. And I don't know what the spelling bee would be without her. And sometimes the tension gets a little bit too much, and May breaks it up for us. So, and we are very grateful for gift certificate prizes donated by Prairie Lights Books and The Bookend here at the library. And finally, we want to thank Aaron Johnson Clickguard, Jeff Stone, and Nancy Weber. They're all around here. Well, there's Jeff in the back, there's Nancy there, and where's Aaron? Oh, there she is. All right. They are they're of the Library Friends Foundation Board of Directors, and thanks for their help in planning this event and for being here to help ensure its success tonight.
Now, Patty already explained this, but we'll just go over it again. The teams will spell in alphabetical order by team name, and you'll use the microphones on either side of the room. While one team is spelling, the other team will be going to the microphone, trying not to disturb the team who's spelling, of course. And Aaron and Nancy are going to help the teams track and send you in the direction that you need to go. So if you look confused, just wave your hand.
Okay. And this is a point where we read rules 5, 6, and 7, which are important rules, and they're so important that I don't have them in my folder. And
Shelley's going to read them.
oh, you're going to do that, Shelley, that multi-talented.
Yeah. So.
Go right ahead.
Okay,
Right.
so I have 5, at least 4 rules to read right now, and rule number 5 is probably the most important of the 4 I'm going to read at the time. to help ensure that each member of each team has at least one chance to spell. The first round is a complete rotation of potentially all three members of the competing teams. During this first round, a team can misspell one word and still remain in the competition. However, if a team misspells a second word during the first round, the team is eliminated, even if team member number 3 has not spelled. The first round offers each team member the opportunity to spell once if no words are misspelled. And if you can't remember all that rule, we'll make sure you do as we're going through it. Our pronouncer, now pronouncers, will pronounce the word, give the definition of the word, use it in a sentence, and pronounce it once more. Words used in the Iowa City Spells will be selected from the 2010 Iowa City Spells Official Study Guide and the Merriam-Webster's Collegiate Dictionary 11th edition. Team members may collaborate on the spelling of a word, but the designated speller must begin spelling within 20 seconds and complete spelling the word in 60 seconds. And then lastly, team members may ask for one additional pronunciation of the word, but no more.
Okay, Shelley has been waiting all of his life to be called Judge Shelley, so that's how we're going to refer to him tonight, as Judge Shelley. And he will announce after each team spells whether or not the word was spelled correctly. Any questions about spelling will be addressed to the judge, Judge Shelley, and not the word announcers. So this is your big opportunity. You ready? You got that gavel? You ready? Okay.
Okay, good. Throughout the team competition, there will also be periodic audience participation words, and they will be given again by Joan and Ben. And the winner of the audience competition will be determined and announced prior to the spell-off between the two final teams. And so make sure to get all 10 words in prior to the last three pardon me?
That's us. We have to make sure.
That's reminded of me. All right, well, I'm supposed to make sure that you guys get your words in. So as you get your, we'll hopefully know when you've hit 10 and have you send them in, but somebody will remind me.
You can see why they don't ask us to spell. They just ask us to talk, because
What?
we're probably not good at reading or spelling.
Exactly, all right, take it away, Jim.
Okay, we're going to introduce the first round and invite the first two teams up. Is that correct?
I think you're gonna introduce the spellers, or?
Yeah, we're
Oh,
gonna
we're
introduce
gonna introduce
the
the
teams, right?
Oh, this is where all those questions you've been asking
That's right.
come into play.
And the first team that we're going to introduce to you are Stand Up Bradley and Riley team, and they're called, you were called Spellbound, Bradley and Riley Spellbound, is that correct? And they are comprised of Joan Burns, who is a French teacher. She's a mom, and she's a former assistant principal of West High School. So it's amazing how she can look so young and do all those particular things. This team is interesting because as it relates to Bradley and Riley, their sponsors, there's a wife, there's a son, and there's an administrative assistant here, and Joan takes the wife role. Joan admitted that they really hadn't gotten together. In fact, she hasn't seen Bennett, who is to her left, since he was a kid. The most interesting thing about Joan is that nobody can dig up any dirt on her, despite the fact that she has been an assistant principal at West High. She's a teacher, she's a mom, and she's a community volunteer, and nobody can dig up any dirt. So for next year, that's everybody's challenge, dig up dirt on Joan, all right? We also have, up next, we have Gabrielle Frederick here on my left, but to Joan's right. She is a new mom of a daughter, Izzy. She lives in Wellman, and she's the wife of husband Tony. And she's the administrative assistant to Paul Burns, Joan's husband. And Joan says she is fantastic, which I believe. And she was asked to join this team, and I thought in the most innovative way. They walked up to her and they said, "Didn't you volunteer for this last year?" In a way that made it quite obvious that it didn't matter that she didn't, that she was volunteering for this year. Am I right? Right. And the most unusual or interesting thing about Gabrielle, which makes her my best friend, is that she can fit her fist in her mouth. She's not going to do it here because it'll affect her ability to spell, but she has that beautiful talent. It's one of many that we're going to discover tonight. So third, we have Bennett Thompson, and Bennett is the son here, the son of Don Thompson, which we all know. He's been a library trustee and a foundation member also, and he's done everything that you can do here. He's an 11th grader at West High. He is a good friend of Evan McCarthy, who's Patty's son, Evan.
That's not how he got recruited, though.
No, he didn't. He got recruited because his dad forwarded him an email, which is another sort of form of coercion. So I would suggest if you're looking for a coercive lawyer, that Bradley and Riley is the place to go. He is a former track star, but he has opted not to do track this year because he has a central role in the play The Princess Bride, where he is Count Rogan. Is that right? Rugen, sorry. So good luck to you, Team 1, Bradley and Riley Spellbound, and we're glad to have you here.
Next, we have diminished faculties. It's a name that's near and dear to my heart. Diminished faculties are all members of the Regina High School faculty. And Cynthia Hames tells me that she volunteered to be a part of this team. I'm not sure how she found the time. She is a teacher of the language arts. She does the drama program at the high school. She is the speech teacher and the debate coach. She also does the yearbook and journalism. And she said after a deep breath, more. Did I get all that? Okay. She also said, when I said, what's an unusual or interesting thing? She said, nothing unusual. I'm cute. I'm fun to be with, but sorry, guys, she's married.
There we go. Isn't there, Cynthia, isn't there a relationship with Kurt and Norma Haynes?
Yes, there certainly is.
As in the daughter of, is that correct? So you have seen Cynthia on television for years.
She's used to this TV stuff then.
That's right.
Troy's my brother, not my husband. Kurt, Norma, Troy, and Cynthia.
That's right, I forgot about that.
And Katie Welter is to the far left. Katie is a teacher of the 7th and 8th grade. This is her first time to be on the spelling team. She said she was a little nervous, but I told her not to worry, that she would be in perpetuity on TV. She has 2 young boys, a 4-year-old and a 5-month-old. So I hope they're watching or sleeping quietly. Oh, they're here. Oh, good. Okay, well then she has her own cheering squad. She said about her teammates, they are great people who can really spell. So watch out, you other teams. And last we have Christina Allgood. And Christina is a school counselor, also a teacher. I told her some of you may need counseling after this is over if you go out quickly, so she will be around to help you. She volunteered to be a part of this team, and when talking about interesting things, she said she may be the only person in the room who is a native Texan. I told her I almost wore my cowboy boots tonight, but I left them at home. Good luck to you.
Thank you. And next, it gives me the pleasure to introduce the Keystone Kiwanians, and they're sponsored by the Old Capitol Kiwanis Club. And thank you very much. And we have my favorite, Kathy Schweer, who has been, Kathy, have you spelled on every single one of these? Have you been in?
I am such a milk toast.
The team has been in existence, which has been an awfully long time, and they've done so well. She became involved in the spelling bee because Shaner Megal-Yines, who was part of the, who was then on the trustees board of the library, sort of induced her. She was the president of Old Capitol Kiwanis at that time, at Kiwanis, and he encouraged the club to support it, and she volunteered. And Kathy, you were actually president, was it last year? Last year of the Kiwanis. No, I know you weren't. He was. But she was. You should have gotten back at him last year. So it's been, I think, at least 8 years that she's been on this team. She is a retired dean of nursing. She works part-time for H&R Block, so this is her busy time, and I'm glad that you're able to be with us tonight. And she's a volunteer leader for the Arthritis Foundation Water Exercise Program. And she's on the mission committee of her church, and she's a bridge player. And her 3 sons and 4 grandchildren are also a big part of her life. I don't know when, but she fits them in, obviously. She's got a great husband, too. And how did the team get together? You sort of twist, recruit, she says, right? As in, I see how they're feeling their arms as in twisted. And let's see, what is the most interesting or unusual thing about you, Kathy, except there's nothing you don't do, maybe?
My husband says I'm never home.
So you're a dream wife. Oh,
That's the first of his bad jokes.
no, I'm already in big trouble, and that's why I thought I was safe on that one tonight. Then we have Scott Becker, and first Scott was here, and then Scott wasn't here, and now Scott's here finally again. And you're a science teacher at Scattergood School. Oh, that's Dave. Oh, yeah, duh. You are a project manager for National Assessment of Educational Progress at Pearson's, right?
That is correct.
And what else about you? How did you get involved? Kathy?
He said I had to come.
Right? And because you had a good job title, is that what it was, or?
Close enough, yes.
Okay. And what's unusual about you? What do you do that nobody else does? Or that may be more irritating than anybody else? This is a hard question, isn't it?
Yes, that is tough.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably the only one from Virginia here.
There we go. Do we have anybody else from Virginia?
Recent Virginia.
You got it, Scott. All right. And then we have Dave Reeve, who is the science teacher at Scattergood. Hello, Dave. And where are you from originally?
Upstate New York.
And how did you got involved through Kathy also? Right, very good. She's good, isn't she? And wait till you see her spell. And have you been in spelling bees before?
No, I haven't, never have.
And so how are you feeling at this moment?
Fine.
Okay. And what is the one thing that you wouldn't want us to know about you, or we'd never know unless you told us?
Yeah, I'm the faculty sponsor for the Key Club at Scattergood.
Very good. And
Kiwanis.
great. So that's young Kiwanians, future Kiwanians. Good for you. All right. Well, good luck to a team that's been with us forever, Keystone Kiwanians.
Now please welcome the Kirkwood Killer Bees from Kirkwood Community College. I remember that title well. Those Killer Bees have been around for quite some time. First, we'd like to introduce Betty Adams. Betty's waving over there. She said she volunteered the very first year because no one else wanted to do it. But you see, she stuck with it, so it must have been fun. You've been a speller in this for all but 2 years, so that's quite a long time. How long have we been doing this, Patty?
This is the 14th.
The 14th year, so.
I've been in it every time. I believe I've done all of it.
All right, well, in her real life, Bill asks these questions, what do they do in real life? Betty manages the Iowa City campus at Kirkwood Community College, a very valuable asset in this community. You said that you and Missy are longtime members of the Kirkwood staff, and so that's how you got on this, and that you were a band nerd.
Still am one.
You know, I never thought of band members as nerds because they always had the best jokes on the band bus. So I always liked band. And you still play in the local woodwind quintet, which is fabulous. She said they're not really very interesting as a team. They're just a bunch of geeks. But Missy may you can take umbrage with that if you'd like to. Missy Molliston. And you have been in 6 of the Iowa City. Seven?
Yeah.
7 spelling bees. She is a library specialist at Kirkwood, and she said that usually it's someone from the office, somebody from the library, and then somebody from the English department. So they kind of pad the team there with that. She's been pregnant during 2 of the spelling bees. We're not asking about tonight.
When was the last one?
2 years ago.
That's what I thought.
Our last win.
And you
I
won.
won during both my pregnancies.
Th-
I
th-
wanted to be fair to all the children.
And so to even the odds tonight, you're not pregnant? Is that what you're saying?
I don't think so.
Okay. Great. All right.
Which he's not telling, and just to make the rest of you a little nervous.
And how long, Matt? How long has Little Village been with the spelling bee?
5 or 6 years?
Yeah, forever, basically. Pardon me?
Couple years, yeah, around there.
I feel like, I know at least 3.
Right.
Ask you a lot.
Yeah, and I guess, Matt, I'll introduce you first because you're newly the publisher of Little Village this summer, that the change in leadership. We'd had Andrew Sherburne before, who has been on the Spelling Bee too. And before that, you were the web editors and the web editor for Little Village magazine. And Little Village, I hope if you don't read it, you need to read it. It's one of the greatest resources in Iowa City, and the most interesting articles is we'll find out why a second when we meet the others. And the thing that's interesting about Matt is that he can seem to be in more than one place at the same time, that people seem to notice that about him. And he wants us all to know that he's not angry with you, he's just dehydrated. And the other thing is that he just the publication just went to print on Wednesday, which is number 101 for the magazine, and he's not sure when he slept last, so he will be the Charlie Sheen of the Spelling Bee here, and we're hoping for some good, interesting remarks. We also have with us Kent Williams, and Ken works in the University of Iowa Department of Psychiatry. I'd like to say that he's going to analyze this all afterwards, but he is actually a software engineer there. But he's also the arts and entertainment editor of the Little Village magazine. And the best part about Kent, which he was here last year, is that the anagram of his full name is Know-It-All Mannerisms. So, pardon me?
Mannerism.
Know-It-All Mannerism. Oh, I could have. You could have, if I needed to call you in the middle of the night and I couldn't remember your name, you just might have saved me there. Thanks a lot, Ken. And we have also with us the most popular writer of the Little Village.
I said least, actually.
Least is, I wrote most, interesting enough, Yale Cohn. And he is not unused to the cameras around here because he is not only is a big library supporter, but he's a PA TV star with the show Talking with Yale Cohn. And I'm sure Jennifer and I will never make it, well, you might never make it on that show after this. And he is also the only plumber with his own talk show. So anyway, we welcome you, Yale, and the rest of your team, and wish you the best of luck.
I am very delighted to introduce the next team as the Phelan Tucker Spellers. Years ago, when I used to do this, they had a name that increased the spelling event by at least a half hour, because every time we had to pronounce 7 or 8 names, it went on and on. So I'm delighted that the Phelan Tucker Spellers from the Phelan Tucker Law Firm are here with us tonight. And these are all Bill's notes, so if I get anything wrong, you can blame it on him. Daniel Daly is with us this evening. And he said that originally he read about the Spelling Bee in a library newsletter, and it sounded like fun, and he wanted to be on a team. So he's retired from the university, and he was a librarian and hydroscience and engineering. Is that right? Did I get it correct? And he does a lot of volunteer work in this town. What keeps a city like Iowa City going are volunteers. He works for Table to Table, Meals on Wheels, Shelter House, and the Coralville Food Pantry. He said they were cobbled together by the development director. Okay, so that's Dan. And Carolyn Dieterle. Caroline is in the middle. Okay, and she also saw a notice posted in the library, and this is your third time? Third, okay. She is the Daily Iowan librarian, and once again, by the influence of Miss Patty, she was assigned to a team. She said that her team members and she are all very long-time residents of Iowa City.
And are you still a member of the co-op board of directors? Yes,
Oh,
you are, and a community activist. And so if you haven't heard that name, or if you've heard that name and not seen a face, here it is. So,
And Emily Bennett, to our far left over there. She said she also saw the announcement. She can't remember where, but wanted to get involved, and she's been participating for 5 or 6 years now, correct? At least 4 or 5, okay.
5 or 6.
She used to teach mathematics in the Iowa City schools, very good schools, as we all know. And she said that Patty helped form them into a team. And she said, having been in the education field for many years, she's been a lifelong learner. As a result, she doesn't find very many situations that are boring, and that keeps life very interesting. So good luck to all of you.
And Emily is a joy to watch spelling. She is like a computer. You can see the wheels moving up there when she spells, so enjoy her. Thanks very much.
Can you read that?
Oh, you got to read that.
Bill says I have to read this because it's my handwriting. So next we have the Press Citizen spellers. Obviously sponsored by the Iowa City Press Citizen. And we have Patrick Reapy. Did I get it right? Patrick is the online news editor, websites. He removes inappropriate comments on the website, which is why Bill Nusser's comments have never appeared
That
on
explains a lot.
on the website. He is not new, but as a speller, but was not on the winning team when the Press Citizen team won. So he's ready to take back the trophy, he said tonight. Emily Hagerman is the copy editor. She said she was roped into this, just to be downright honest. She was just roped into it. And one of the most interesting things about her, which as I have traveled across the country, I have had great fun telling bicyclists about, she has ridden RAGBRAI 10 times. Amazing. I told her that I once stood by the road and waved at people as they came into town. That's as best as I've ever done.
Your commitment.
Yeah,
is
it's
unbelievable.
right there, isn't it?
That's why you're here.
I know. Stephanie Wise is the arts and entertainment editor. She and I had a nice discussion about the Academy Awards, although she admitted that she hadn't seen the King's Speech. So I told her she needs to go see it. She was also recruited to this team position. And one of the unusual and interesting things that she likes to talk about, if you get a chance to chat with her later, is she has spent some time in India. So we wish you all luck.
Yeah, and I think that Rob Daniels, who was on this winning team, is in the back here covering it for the Press Citizen. Glad to see you all. Good luck to you. And the last team, go ahead, Jennifer, it's yours.
Okay, the trustee spellers. Yay, the Iowa City Public Library Board of Trustees. Yeehaw.
Yeah, right.
Meredith Rich Chappell is an attorney in town, and I said, what kind? And she said, I'm a prosecutor. And I said, well, I'll be very nice to you. She is a trustee and a new member to the team, but excited about being here, and we appreciate that. We have Thomas Dean, Tom. Tom has helped organize and served as a team member on this before. He was on the one-time only Scorton Spellers in 2004. I'm so sorry I missed it. He said that they lost because David Scorton, who was then President Scorton, wouldn't listen to him and regarding how to spell septendecimal.
Right.
Okay. He should have.
That's
Yes,
right, there you go.
and he should have listened, but, you know, we had to send him off somewhere else where they don't spell as well. So, since that year, he has served on the trustee spellers, and he missed 1 year. He said that they got this team together, and at the last board meeting, no one else stepped up, and people looked at him. And he didn't want to deprive anyone of the honor of being on the team. That didn't work, so here he is again. He has 3 greyhounds at home. I said, I assume you mean dogs and not greyhound buses, and he said yes. He has a letter from Lillian Gish, the silent movie star, which I think would be quite exciting to have.
And you're on your, and he's a speechwriter for the presidents, and which is why Scorton should have listened to you in the first place.
Yeah.
And you're on your 5th president, is that right, Tom? Yep. So talk about longevity, that's something.
Oh, those presidents tend to come and go, we all know that. Mark Edwards is also a trustee, and in his real life, he said he is a recruiter for the Iowa National Guard, and a job that he said is one of the best jobs you could have. He said it was his turn to fall on the sword. That's why he's here. So, we like honesty in our spellers. And I said, tell me something unusual about you. And he said, well, for a long time, he really didn't want to join the Army because he really didn't want to cut his hair. It doesn't seem to be a problem now, Mark, but we'll just leave it at that. Good luck to all of you.
Good luck to all of you. So, thank you, Jennifer. Here we are. We're ready for the first round. And as you remember that our Judge Kurtz told us, the first round is that everybody gets to spell once. Each one of you get to spell once. And you can miss one word as a team, but you can't miss two. And so we're ready to go with the Bradley and Riley Spellbound team, sponsored by Bradley and Riley PC.
Okay, here's the first word. Liege. Obligated to render feudal allegiance and service, faithful, loyal. The liege subject would not fight his lord. Liege.
Liege. L-I-E-G-E. Liege.
Correct.
Very good, Bennett.
Diminished faculties are next spellers.
Chipotle, a smoked and usually dried jalapeno pepper. The recipe called for chipotle peppers. Chipotle.
Chipotle. C-H-I-P-O-T-L-E. Chipotle.
Correct?
Very good, pronounced well, too. Next, we have the Keystone Kiwanians, sponsored by the Old Capitol Kiwanis Club.
Discrete. Constituting a separate entity, individually distinct. Democritus is credited with the theory that matter is composed of discrete particles. Discrete.
Discrete, D-I-S-C-R-E-T-E. Discrete.
Correct. Very good. That's a hard one. Everybody wants to do that with two E's together. Next, we have the Kirkwood Killer Bees, sponsored by Kirkwood Community College.
Echelon, an arrangement of a body of troops with its units each somewhat to the left or right of the one in the rear, like a series of steps. The migrating geese seem to be flying in echelon. Echelon.
Echelon, E-C-H-E-L-O-N. Echelon.
Correct.
Sounds like a car, doesn't it? A Toyota Echelon. Jennifer's going to make me say this team. It's L'Équipe de Rêve. Close? Yeah. Okay, and sponsored by Pogo and Friends.
Okay. Mimicry. An instance of mimicking, the action, practice, or art of mimicking. The children were engaging in a game of mimicry. Mimicry.
Mimicry. M-I-M-I-C-R-Y. Mimicry.
Correct.
Very good.
Little Village Spellers, sponsored by Autodidactus.
Sextant, an instrument for measuring angular distances used especially in navigation to observe altitudes of celestial bodies. Robert Falcon Scott's team used a sextant to determine if they had reached the South Pole. Sextant.
Sextant, S-E-X-T-A-N-T. Sextant.
Correct.
Great. I thought maybe Matt might have taken that word and because of his Charlie Sheen thing. I think sextant is something that Charlie Sheen used too. Next we have the Phelan Tucker Spellers, sponsored by the Phelan Tucker Law Firm that also has a Gelman in it.
Tenantry. A body of tenants. The tenantry of the apartment complex was upset about the new rules. Tenantry.
Tenantry. Tenantry.
Correct.
Very good. And we have the Press Citizen Spellers, sponsored by the Iowa City Press Citizen.
Enounce, to set forth or state, to pronounce distinctly. It is important to enunciate when providing words for the Iowa City Spelling Bee. Enunciate.
Announce. E-N-O-U-N-C-E. Enounce.
Correct.
And now at the bottom of the first round, we have the trustee spellers.
Tutelage, an act or process of serving as guardian or protector, the state of being under a guardian or tutor. Although the teacher was stern, her pupils learned much under her tutelage. Tutelage.
Tutelage, T-U-T-E-L-A-G-E, tutelage.
Correct.
Very good. Okay, so are we ready for an audience participation word?
Take a deep
Just
breath
to
and
get,
we'll do
to
an
get you guys
audience
going?
participation.
You wake out there, audience?
Get your
cards out.
ready. Pencils ready.
Okay, let's hear it.
Cerulean. Resembling the blue of the sky, the staff chose cerulean paint for the ceiling of the reading room. Cerulean.
For a good donation. At least, yeah.
Okay, we got that word? All right. So we are ready to, I'm not sure just what happened there, Patty, but I'm trusting it's above board. Anyways. There we go. All right, so second round 2 of the first round, and let's get ready for Bradley and Riley Spellbound, sponsored by Bradley and Riley PC.
Resplendent. Shining brilliantly. The meadows were resplendent with flowers. Resplendent.
Resplendent. R-E-S-P-L-E-N-D-E-N-T. Resplendent.
Correct.
Very good. And Gabrielle reports that her skin is resplendent with wrinkles when she puts, that don't go away when she puts her fist in her mouth. Nice job.
You're going to go on about this all night. Diminished faculties, it's part of what happens with Bill. Diminished faculties by Regina High School.
Talisman, an object held to act as a charm to avert evil and bring good fortune, something producing apparently magical or miraculous effects. The apathetic man carelessly broke the sacred talisman. Talisman.
Talisman. T-A-L-I-S-M-A-N. Talisman.
Correct.
Very good. We have the Keystone Kiwanis, sponsored by the Old Capitol Kiwanis Club.
Okay, they're in place. Metastasis, the spread of a disease producing agency as cancer cells from the initial site of a disease to another part of the body. There was grave concern about metastasis of the cancer cells. Metastasis.
Metastasis. M-E-T-A-S. Where am I? Can I start over? M-E-T-A-S-M-A-T-A-S-I-S. Metastasis.
I'm sorry, that's not correct.
Where'd I miss?
Can we have the correct spelling?
From me, you mean?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. M-E-T-A-S-T-A-S-I-S.
Metastasis, right. Thanks very much. They're still in the running, and
right.
we're ready for... That's all right. Ready for the Kirkwood Killer Bees.
Capable of being repaired. This motor is reparable, said Wiley. Reparable.
Reparable.
R-E-P-A-R-A-B-L-A. Oops, let me start over. Reparable, R-E-P-A-R-A-B-L-E. Reparable.
Very good. And I think I'll remind again, this is very nerve-wracking for these people. And so if you need to start over, start by stating the word, spelling the word, and then stating it again. And after that last statement of the word, you're done, okay? So you have a lot of time to change until you say it for the last time. So who do we have?
Lucky True. Did I get it right? Close?
You probably said something really awful.
I think it was give more money to the Iowa City Public Library.
Excellent. She's going to go far. Okay, their word?
Rideable. Possible or fit to be ridden as a horse or ridden over as a road. After the snowstorm, the interstate highway was declared rideable. Rideable.
Rideable. R-I-D-E-A-B-L-E. Rideable.
Correct.
Beautifully done. And the Little Village Spellers, sponsored by Autodidactus. There we go. Yeah, thanks.
Aeronomy, the science that deals with the physics and chemistry of the upper atmosphere of planets. The aeronomy class was a required course for the astronomy degree. Aeronomy.
Aeronomy, A-E-R-O-N-O-M-Y, aeronomy.
Correct.
Very good.
And the Phelan Tucker spellers from Phelan Tucker Law Firm.
Vengeance. Punishment inflicted in retaliation for an injury or offense. The villagers sought vengeance for the retreating invaders. Vengeance.
Vengeance. V-E-N-G-E-A-N-C-E. Vengeance.
Correct.
Very good. And the Press Citizen Spellers, sponsored by the Iowa City Press Citizen.
Necessitas. Needy, impoverished, urgent, pressing. The action the council took was necessitas. Necessitas.
Necessitus. N-E-C-E-S-S-I-T-O-U-S. Necessitus.
Correct.
Very good. And last but not least, the Trustee Spellers, sponsored by the Iowa City Public Library Board of Trustees.
Kinesics. A systematic study of the relationship between non-linguistic body motions as blushes, shrugs, or eye movement, and communication. The actor studied kinesics for his upcoming role. Kinesics.
Kinesics, K-I-N-E-S-I-C-S, kinesics.
Correct.
Excellent. Okay, we're done with the second round. Jennifer is saying to me,
Second audience spelling word. And
Okay.
make this one a little easier. if
so
you
get
would.
out, no, they're not going to be easy. Get out your sheets, audience. This is your word. We're ready for the audience word.
Okay, we're trying to figure out how to say it.
Emphasis on the last.
Okay, why don't you say this one?
So much for the easy word.
Is this the audience word, right?
Yes, it is.
Neither Joan nor I have high confidence in our pronunciation ability on this one.
Which means it probably doesn't make much difference.
Sounds good.
Asphodel. Any of various old world herbs of the lily family. A pot of asphodel graced the cover of the book about herbs. And if anybody would like to correct me, feel free to. Asphodel.
Does anybody need a repronunciation of that?
Remember, a lot of money, you can borrow.
Yeah, there you go, but not much, yeah, $1,000 and you could have that
Yes,
word.
go ahead.
There's just like,
Caroline knows, asphodel.
Oh, it doesn't give
Oh.
us that here.
so it has nothing to do with mercy.
It doesn't have that, that stress on this, but we'll defer to you.
Well, Caroline hangs out at the co-op, so she might actually know this one. Okay, so are you ready, audience? Are you okay? Yes, you did survive that one? Okay, so we're ready for round 3 of round 1. And the only team that has had any mistakes are the Keystone Kiwanians, and otherwise, everybody's in great shape here and is going to survive. So first team is Bradley and Riley Spellbound.
The word is ambiguity. The quality or state of being ambiguous, especially in meaning. She sensed his ambiguity was intentional. Ambiguity.
Ambiguity, A-M-B-I-G-U-I-T-Y, ambiguity.
You sure that was, you made that very clear, Joan. Thanks. Next team are the diminished faculties. Why are you making me say that, Jennifer? Sponsored by Regina High School.
Curmudgeon, a crusty, ill-tempered, and usually old man. Bill is well on his way to becoming a curmudgeon.
I was thinking Don Thompson
Curmudgeon.
myself. Yeah, that's right.
Bill. B. I'm so sorry.
Touche, Cynthia.
Excuse me. Sorry, Bill. Curmudgeon. C-U-R-M-U-D-G-E-O-N. Curmudgeon.
Correct.
Thank you.
Oh, yes. Oh, such an old curmudgeon, you.
Curmudgeon would do that.
The Keystone Kiwanians, sponsored by the Old Capital Kiwanis Club.
Palooka, an inexperienced or incompetent boxer. Oaf, lout. He considered his boss a palooka. Palooka.
Palooka, P-A-L-O-O-K-A, Palooka.
Correct. Beautiful elocution on that, too. Way to go. Kirkwood Killer Bees.
Antecedent, a preceding event, condition, or cause. The rehearsal was antecedent to the main event. Antecedent.
Antecedent, A-N-T-E-C-E-D-E-N-T, antecedent.
Correct. Excellent. Okay. Latif Durev, sponsored by Pogo and Friends.
Aqueous, of or relating to or resembling water. The solution in Wayne's laboratory was aqueous. Aqueous.
Aqueous. A-Q-U-E-O-U-S. Aqueous.
Correct.
Very good. I was looking for the aqueous humor there, but didn't get it.
The Little Village Spellers, sponsored by Autodidacts.
Backgammon, a board game played with dice and counters in which players try to be the first to gather their pieces into one corner and then systematically remove them from the board. Families enjoy playing backgammon at the Iowa City Public Library's event, Old School Board Game Sundays. Backgammon.
Backgammon. B-A-C-K-G-A-M-M-O-N. Backgammon.
Correct.
Very good. All right, and the Phelan Tucker Spellers, sponsored by the Phelan Tucker Law Firm.
Enervate, to reduce the mental or moral vigor of, to lessen the vitality or strength of. He knew the long captivity would enervate the prisoner of war. Enervate.
Enervate. E-N-E-R-V-A-T-E. Enervate.
Correct.
Excellent.
Press Citizen Spellers, sponsored by the Iowa City Press Citizen.
Zealotry, an excess of zeal, fanatical devotion. He accused the protesters of zealotry.
Zealotry. Z-E-A-L-O-T-R-Y. Zealotry.
Correct.
Excellent. And again, last but not least, the trustee speller, sponsored by the Iowa City Public Library Board of Trustees.
Gesundheit. Used to wish good health, especially to one who has just sneezed. He always says Gesundheit when a friend sneezes. Gesundheit.
No German last names here. Now, Ben should have pronounced that word because he lived for a long time in Germany. And in fact, he was a famous voice in Germany and voiceover things. Go ahead. Not trying to distract you at all.
No, not at all. Gesundheit. G-E-S-U-N-D-H-I-T-E. Gesundheit.
I'm sorry, that's not right. But
No,
you're
no,
still
it's
in.
okay, you're all right.
You're all right.
You're okay.
You're still in.
Okay.
And how is it properly spelled?
Gesundheit. G-E-S-U-N-D-H-E-I-T.
Right. Very good. And it makes no difference because you had no other misspelling. So we're now done with the first round of disqualification. Everybody made it, and so we're happy about that.
Except for you and I.
Yeah, actually, we're still here.
We were probably out on the first round, but it's time for that third easy audience spelling word. We hope this one's easier.
It won't.
Okay, the word is concomitant. Accompanying, especially in a subordinate or incidental way, the clerk handed over the date due receipt with a concomitant reminder that late DVDs have a higher fine than books. Concomitant.
And if you know that one real easy, you can still give money to the library. They just did that so we could do it soon.
Very good. Ding. Thank you, Maeve, our Foley artist. Anybody need anything from the audience? No repronounce or anything? Great. So now, Shelley, what happens here? How do the rules change?
Well, now each team will come up and they'll get a word, and if you miss it, you're out, and if you get it, you go forward.
Okay, so here we go. We're going to start in the same order again. We have Bradley and Riley Spellbound, sponsored by Bradley and Riley PC.
Obelisk, an upright, four-sided, usually monolithic pillar that gradually tapers as it rises and terminates in a pyramid. The Washington Monument is a prime example of an obelisk. Obelisk.
Obelisk. O-B-E-L-I-S-K. Obelisk.
Correct.
Excellent. And we have diminished faculties, sponsored by Regina High School.
Quotidian, occurring every day. I drive a different route to work some days to relieve the boredom of the quotidian commute. Quotidian.
Quotidian. C-O-T-I-D-I-A-N. Quotidian.
That's not correct. Sorry. It's quo, Q-U. Q-U-O-T-I-D-I-A-N.
Oh, we're so sorry. Diminished faculties, we're sorry to have you go out. This, again, people underestimate how tense this is and how nervous people are. So we thank you, diminished faculties, and hope you're not so diminished that you'll leave us. But we appreciate your efforts. Next, we have,
Keystone Kiwanis.
that's right.
Kiwanians. I should know that. I was a kid. Old Capital Kiwanis Club sponsor.
Maniacal, affected with or suggestive of madness. Suddenly they heard a maniacal laughter coming from the attic. Maniacal.
Of 508 River Street.
Maniacal. M-A-N-I-A-C-A-L. Maniacal.
Correct.
Very good.
Maniacal laughter often comes out of Hans Jewelers, too, we're told.
All right, well, let's have the Kirkwood Killer Bees spelled.
Biotelemetry, the remote detection and measurement of a human or animal function, activity, or condition. After connecting a tracking and monitoring device, scientists will often use biotelemetry to study the health and life patterns of wild animals. Biotelemetry.
Biotelemetry. B-I-O-T-E-L-E-M-E-T-R-Y. Biotelemetry.
Correct.
Very good. Jennifer's getting all these words right, too. L'Equipe de Rêve, sponsored by Pogo and Friends.
Antebellum, existing before a war, especially before the American Civil War. The beautiful antebellum mansion has been declared a landmark by the state government. Antebellum.
Antebellum. A-N-T-E-B-E-L-L-U-M. Antebellum.
Correct.
Very good. It's unfair for them because there's a very popular band of that same name, so you have the age factor on your side. Yours, dear.
The Little Village Spellers.
Fulminate. To utter or send out with denunciation. In his anger, he began to fulminate. Fulminate.
Fulminate. F-U-L-M-I-N-A-T-E. Fulminate.
Correct.
Very good.
Phelan Tucker Spellers, sponsored by Phelan Tucker Law Firm.
Omniscience, the quality of having infinite awareness, understanding, and insight. Some political commentators seem to believe they possess omniscience. Omniscience.
Omniscience, O-M-N-I-S-C-I-E-N-C-E, omniscience.
Correct.
Very good. And the Press Citizen Spellers, sponsored by the Iowa City Press Citizen.
Scarab. Any of a family of stout-bodied beetles with fan-shaped antennae. A stone beetle used in ancient Egypt as a talisman or ornament. The scarab was the most valuable artifact found in the excavation. Scarab.
Scarab. S-C-A-R-A-B. Scarab.
Correct.
Very good. And we have the Trustee Spellers, sponsored by the Iowa City Public Library Board of Trustees.
Bibliomania, extreme preoccupation with collecting books. I happen to grow up with a father who suffered from bibliomania. Bibliomania.
Bibliomania. B-I-B-L-I-O-M-A-N-I-A. Bibliomania.
Correct.
Very good. Nobody thinks it's a little suspicious, the little winks they gave each other, the library gets that word. All right, next round, do we want another audience word, Jennifer? You're in charge of that?
Yes.
Okay.
Give us one non-spell.
Are you ready, audience?
Okay, we got it.
Okay,
For the audience, our next word is rapprochement.
of course.
Establishment or state of having cordial relations. The buyers reached a state of rapprochement when they realized there were enough books for everyone. Rapprochement.
The lesson to be learned here is you'd be better off being on a spelling team than in the audience.
Exactly.
So next year, volunteer.
There you go.
Bradley and Riley Spellbound, sponsored by Bradley and Riley PC.
Vituperate, to abuse or censure severely or abusively, to use harsh condemnatory language. Because he had pulled himself from the NFC Championship game, many football players chose to vituperate quarterback Jay Cutler via Twitter. Vituperate.
Vituperate, VITUPERATE, vituperate.
That is correct.
And the Keystone Kiwanians.
Fatigable, susceptible to fatigue. All this hard work would make Charlie fatigable. Fatigable.
Fatigable. Fatigable. Fatigable.
Correct.
Very good. Very good. Go ahead.
Oh, the Kirkwood Killer Bees. They're over here on our side now by Kirkwood Community College.
Crepuscular, of, relating to, or resembling twilight. Dim. The thunderstorm produced a crepuscular light. Crepuscular.
Crepuscular. CREPUSCULAR. Crepuscular.
Correct.
You're amazing. Lakeith Durrell on the other side now.
Bimillenary. A period of 2,000 years. The bimillenary of Julius Caesar's death occurred in March 1957. Bimillenary.
Bimillenary. BIMILLENARY. Bimillenary.
Correct.
Very good. I thought that's the sign that was in a hat maker's window, but I was wrong. Who do you have next, Jennifer?
The Little Village Spellers by Autodidactus.
Incorporeal, having no material body or form. In the upstairs of the old house, she sensed an incorporeal being behind her. Incorporeal.
Incorporeal, INCORPOREAL, incorporeal.
Correct.
I'm so glad. That's how I spelled it. And
Go ahead.
the Phelan and Tucker spellers, sponsored by the Phelan and Tucker Law Firm.
Pharaonic. Of or relating to or characteristic of a pharaoh or the pharaohs. The pharaonic practice of sibling marriage doesn't seem to have been the norm through the rest of ancient Egyptian society. Pharaonic.
Pharaonic, Pharaonic, pharaonic.
Correct.
Very good. Jennifer got that one. The Press Citizen speller, sponsored by the Iowa City Press Citizen.
Bifurcate, to divide into two branches or parts. Travelers on the country road should expect the path to bifurcate just before it reaches town. Bifurcate.
Bifurcate. BIFURCATE. Bifurcate.
Correct.
Trusty Spellers. The Trusty Spellers of the Iowa City Public Library Board of Trustees.
Mascarpone. An Italian cream cheese. Lydia used mascarpone as a dessert cheese.
Mascarpone. Mascarpone. Mascarpone.
Correct.
Excellent. And so we are now at the top of the fourth round with 8 teams remaining. And do we do an audience word, Jennifer? Or
Well,
you're gonna
sure,
give 'em a
because
break?
they're so easy.
Okay, all
I think we
right.
should just throw one in there.
Sounds
Okay.
good. What if we were to say cat?
Okay, here's another easy one. Perspicacious. Of acute mental vision or discernment. Her perspicacious knowledge of the reference sources took her to the right book every time. Perspicacious.
Could you all hear it? Okay, try it again,
Perspicacious.
Joan.
Sorry, I don't know if this thing's working. Perspicacious. Of acute mental vision or discernment. Her perspicacious knowledge of the reference sources took her to the right book every time. Perspicacious.
Was that good enough for you, for the audience? Anybody need it repeated? Okay, very good. So round 4 starts with?
Bradley and Riley spellbound.
Okay. Penetrometer, an instrument for measuring firmness or consistency as of soil. The county extension officer brought his penetrometer to the farm field. Penetrometer.
Penetrometer, Penetrometer, penetrometer.
Correct.
Very good, yes. And we have the Keystone Kiwanians, sponsored by their club.
Harbinger, one that pioneers in or initiates a major change, one that presages or foreshadows what is to come. In Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, Jacob Marley serves as a harbinger for the ghosts that haunt Ebenezer Scrooge. Harbinger.
Harbinger. Harbinger. Harbinger.
Almost too easy. The Kirkwood Killer Bees, sponsored by Kirkwood Community College.
Secco, the art of painting on dry plaster. Secco is a useful technique in mural painting. Secco.
Secco, S-E-C-C-O, Secco.
Excellent. L'Equipe de Roev, sponsored by Pogo and Friends.
Draconian, of or relating to a characteristic of Draco, or the severe code of laws held to have been framed by him. The new office dress code seemed nearly draconian to him. Draconian.
Draconian. D-R-A-C-O-N-I-A-N. Draconian.
Correct.
Excellent.
The Little Village Spellers. No words for you guys.
I'm sorry about that. Okay, the word is suppurate, to form or discharge pus. The doctor told her if the wound begins to suppurate, she should call him right away. Suppurate.
Suppurate. S-U-P-P-U-R-A-T-E. Suppurate.
Correct.
Wow.
I think disgusting meaning words should be left out.
I like them. I like them. So next we have the Phelan Tucker Spellers, sponsored by the Phelan Tucker Gelman firm.
Ampersand, the quality or symbol typically used to represent the word and. Many businesses choose to use an ampersand in their company names and logos rather than using valuable space on the word and. Ampersand.
Ampersand. A-M-P-E-R-S-A-N-D. Ampersand.
Correct.
Very good.
Press Citizen Spellers.
Harsh or discordant sound, dissonance. There was cacophony of excitement in the kindergarten class. Cacophony.
Cacophony. C-A-C-O-P-H-O-N-Y, cacophony.
Correct.
Well done. And last but not least, the trustee speller is sponsored by the Board of Trustees.
Gerrymander, to divide a territorial unit into election districts to give one political party an electoral majority in a large number of districts, while concentrating the voting strength of the opposition in as few districts as possible. Since the 18th century, American legislators and their political cronies have opted to gerrymander various districts to choose their voters before voters have had the opportunity to choose them. Gerrymander.
Gerrymander. Gerrymander. Gerrymander.
Correct.
Good. All right. We've just finished round 4. We're on to round 5.
Let's try this one more time for the audience and see if you can give us one we've heard of before.
Elulation. A howl or a wail. The elulation of the children leaving the train set in the children's room could be heard throughout the library. Elulation.
I think Betsy's going to be elulating at me later on. Don't know, just a hint, just a feeling. All right, so we're ready for round 5. We still haven't lost anybody. We're starting again with Bradley and Riley Spellbound.
With a side glance or with disapproval or disgust, the customer looked askance as the salesman made his pitch. Askance.
Askance. A-S-K-A-N-C-E. Askance.
Correct.
Very good. The Keystone Kiwanians, sponsored by the Old Capitol Kiwanis Club.
Impartable, not subject to partition. The land in question was impartable. Impartable.
Impartable. I-M-P-A-R-T-A-B-L-E. Impartable.
I'm sorry, that's wrong. I-M-P-A-R-T-I-B-L-E.
That's what you said.
Oh, it's hard to believe. Hard to believe. Nice job. Keystone Kiwanians, excellent, excellent. Beautiful team, beautiful job. We have the Kirkwood Killer Bees next.
To accept, comply, or submit tacitly or passively. Government leaders will eventually acquiesce to this decreased budget. Acquiesce.
A-C-Q-U-I-E-S-C-E. Acquiesce.
Correct.
Latif Dureb.
Jactitation. A tossing to and fro or jerking and twitching of the body. Great restlessness and jactitation set in once everybody realized how bad Bill's jokes really were. Jactitation.
4, 5, 6, 7. We didn't do it here.
Jactitation? J-A-C-T-I-T-A-T-I-O-N, jactitation.
Correct.
Wow. And so beautifully done physically. That's good.
Little Village.
We have the Little Village Spellers, sponsored by Autodidactus. Anybody know what that means? Self-taught, that's right.
Reliquary. A container or shrine in which sacred relics are kept. The holy objects are kept in the church's reliquary. Reliquary.
Reliquary. R-E-L-I-Q-U-A-R-Y. Reliquary.
Correct.
There you go. And the Phelan Tucker Speller, sponsored by the Phelan Tucker Law Firm.
Apperception. Introspective self-consciousness. Psychiatrists often turn to the thematic apperception test to aid them in diagnosis. Apperception.
Apperception, APPERCEPTION, apperception.
Correct.
Well done.
The Press Citizen Spellers.
Catheter, a tubular medical device for insertion into canals, vessels, passageways, or body cavities. The doctor used a catheter to test the blood flow of the patient's arteries. Catheter.
Catheter. CATHETER. Catheter.
Correct.
And last but not least, the trustee speller, sponsored by the Iowa City Public Library Board of Trustees.
Connoisseur, an expert, one who understands the details, technique, or principles of an art and is competent to act as a critical judge. Over the years, I got to be quite a connoisseur of soap. My personal preference was for Lux, but I found Palmolive had a nice, piquant after-dinner flavor and heady, but with just a touch of mellow smoothness. It's what's on the sheet, folks. I don't know. I didn't
Sure,
make that
Ben,
up.
we know you're making that up as you go.
Connoisseur.
And Lifebuoy, do they even make Lifebuoy soap anymore? Yes? Yeah.
You need to start spelling.
Connoisseur, CONNISEUR, connoisseur.
I'm sorry, that's not correct.
Oh,
Connoisseur, CONNOISSEUR.
two N's, Leslie. Very good. Thank you very much, trustee spellers. You did well, hung in there quite well. All right. What about the audience words? Do we need another one?
Sure. They're probably just zipping through them out there. So we're up to audience word number 6.
Is that right?
Okay.
7.
7. Sure. It's been so easy, I've lost track.
The word is vociferous, tending to break up into parts. Divisive. The vociferous tendencies among the members of the book group caused it to disband. Vociferous.
Could you hear that? Do we need it repeated? Okay.
You want to say it?
Vociferous. Vociferous.
All right, could you define it again and for us?
Shout out the whole thing.
Okay, one more time. Vociferous, tending to break up into parts. Divisive. The vociferous tendencies among the members of the book group caused it to disband. Vociferous.
Okay, because we'd hate to get the audience vociferous over this tiny issue here. All right. So we're at the beginning of round 6, and how many teams do we have? We have 6 teams left. Is that right? Yep, 6 teams left. So we'll start again with Bradley and Riley PC, the Spellbound team.
Ocarina. A simple wind instrument typically having an oval body with finger holes and projecting mouthpiece. The musical instrument manufacturing company's design of its ocarina is based upon the images found in the popular video game The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't say ocarina.
Ocarina, O-C-A-R-E-N-A, ocarina.
That's incorrect. Ocarina, O-C-A-R-I-N-A.
Oh, nice job. Nice job, Bradley and Riley. Beautifully done. Well done. Way to hang in there. Okay, we have Kirkwood Killer Bees who are getting a little more comfortable with the fewer teams here, I think.
Nascent, coming or having recently come into existence. His nascent singing career seemed to come to an abrupt halt last Wednesday. Nascent.
Nascent. Nascent. Nascent.
Correct.
Way to go. You want to take, you can take as much time as you want to think about that. Okay, and next we have L'équipe de rêve.
Deign, to condescend reluctantly and with a strong sense of the affront to one's superiority. Seeing the issue as beneath him, he would not deign to discuss the matter with us. Deign.
How do you pronounce it again? Could you pronounce it again?
Deign.
Dane.
Probably not. Just go for it.
All right. Dane. Deane. Dane.
That's not right, I'm sorry, it's Deign.
Yeah, oh, so sorry. Thank you, L'équipe de rêve. You still have a big career ahead of you. Only one of you is a senior, and she's going to rule us all being a military person here. Nice job, thank you.
Little village spellers.
Little Village Spellers.
Next word. Dobby, a loom attachment for weaving small figures. Jill used her dobby on the loom. Dobby.
Dobby, D-O-B-B-Y, Dobby.
Correct.
And the Phelan Tucker spellers.
Fetlock, a projection bearing a tuft of hair on the back of the leg above the hoof of a horse or similar animal, or the tuft of hair itself. A rubber tubular ring is used to protect the hind fetlock when riding and schooling. Fetlock.
That's right.
Fetlock, Fetlock, Fetlock.
Correct.
Excellent. All right, we have the Press Citizen Speller, sponsored by The Obvious.
Burgomaster. The chief magistrate in some European countries. Count Stradfan Zarovich demands competence and honesty and scrupulous respect for his instructions and laws from his burgomasters. The word is burgomaster, singular. It's used in the sentence in plural, but it is burgomaster.
Thank you for that clarification, Ben. Burgomaster. Burgomaster. Burgomaster.
Correct.
That's good. I thought it was what you get when you cross a Thigh Master with McDonald's.
Oh, okay, and with that, we need another audience word. You guys picked these words and not me.
Your word, audience, is effulgence. Radiant splendor, brilliance. The effulgence of the stained glass window made it a destination point in the library. Effulgence.
Jennifer, you are effulgent as a co-host. And we are now down to 4 teams, is it? We are. So it's getting tense. People are leaving like flies. And we start out with Kirkwood Killer Bees. We're used to this.
Chilblain, an inflammatory swelling or sore caused by exposure to cold. There was a large chilblain on the mountain climber's nose. Chilblain.
Chilblain, Chilblain, Chilblain.
Correct.
What took you so long, Betty? Okay, we have Little Village Spellers.
Vitiligo. A skin disorder manifested by smooth white spots on various parts of the body. She went to the dermatologist for treatment of her vitiligo. Vitiligo.
Could we have the word repeated?
Vitiligo.
Vitiligo. Vitiligo. Vitiligo.
That is incorrect.
Oh, so sorry.
Vitiligo. Vitiligo.
Wow. Good job, Little Village. Way to go.
Next year, we're going to work on having words that evoke pleasant things.
Actually, a definition for that word could be one of the many excuses Michael Jackson used for becoming lighter skinned, I think. Anyway, thank you, Little Village. We have Phelan Tucker, spellers, next.
Kapellmeister, the director of a choir or orchestra. Herr Schmidt was the Kapellmeister in the cathedral. Kapellmeister.
Kapellmeister, K-A-P-L, let me start again, please. Kapellmeister, K-A-P-E-L-L-M-E-I-S-T-E-R, Kapellmeister.
Correct.
Wow. Excellent. Not an easy word. Who's up?
Press citizen spellers.
Press citizen spellers.
Deuterium. An isotope of hydrogen that has one proton and one neutron in its nucleus and that has twice the mass of ordinary hydrogen. Ultra-dense deuterium may be the nuclear fuel of the future. Deuterium.
We've all been thinking that, Ben.
Deuterium. D-E-U-T-E-R-I-U-M. Deuterium.
Correct.
Yay, so good.
Okay, we need.
Okay. All right, all right, we're done with the seventh round, and we're ready for another audience word.
Tessellation. Mosaic, a covering of an infinite geometric plane without gaps or overlaps by congruent figures. A fancy word for the beautiful tile mosaic at the entrance of the children's room is tessellation. Tessellation.
Did you hear that, audience? Okay, very good. All right, we start round 8 with 3 teams remaining. And we started with the Grid Killer Bees.
Fatwa. A legal opinion or decree handed down by an Islamic religious leader. In 2001, Egypt's Grand Mufti issued a fatwa stating that the show Who Will Win the Million, modeled on the British show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, was un-Islamic. Fatwa.
Fatwa, F-A-T-W-A, fatwa.
Correct.
Way to go. Of course, the Bradley and Riley team here is bitter about having a legal term when they could have lost not have lost on that. Next, we have
Phelan and Tucker spellers.
Phelan and Tucker Law Firm.
Dengue, also pronounced dengue, an acute infectious disease caused by a flavivirus species transmitted by mosquitoes, characterized by headache, severe joint pain, and rash, also called breakbone fever. The geographic spread of dengue is similar to that of malaria. Dengue.
Dengue, D-E-N-G-U-E, dengue.
Correct.
Breakbone fever, would that be like the disco version of Brokeback Mountain? Is that I'm sorry. And now we have the press citizen spellers.
Luculent. Clear in thought or expression. The professor's remarks were extremely luculent. Luculent.
Luculent. Luculent. Luculent.
Correct.
Wow, excellent. Okay, and so we are ready for another round, round number 9. And do we have any audience words left?
We have one more, so we're going to save it.
Okay, great. The suspense is going to kill us. We have the Kirkwood Killer Bees.
Okay, I believe my word is the next one. Chakra. Any of several points of physical or spiritual energy in the human body, according to yoga philosophy. There are believed to be 7 chakras in the human body. Chakra.
Chakra. Chakra.
Correct.
Very good. And we have the Phelan Tucker spellers.
Tenuity. Lack of substance or strength. Lack of thickness. The tenuity of the trees made them vulnerable during the tornado. Tenuity.
Tenuity, Tenuity, tenuity.
Correct.
Very good. The Press Citizen spellers.
Mellifluous. Having a smooth, rich flow filled with something that sweetens. Mellifluous melody. The mellifluous melody transfixed the audience. Mellifluous.
Mellifluous. Mellifluous. Mellifluous.
Correct.
Wow, amazing. Yeah, that's right.
Round 10.
Okay, round 10. And we're still at 3. The Kirkwood Killer Bees starts this round.
Vigoroso. Energetic in style, used as a direction in music. The last movement of the symphony was marked vigoroso. Vigoroso.
Vigoroso. Vigoroso. Vigoroso.
Correct.
Great, excellent. The Phelan, I don't need to say all these,
Oh,
Jennifer.
Phelan Tucker spellers. I know, you just say the really bad jokes.
True. Those aren't good.
Okay. The next word is metonymy. A figure of speech consisting of the use of the name of one thing for that of another, of which it is an attribute or with which it is associated. The writer employed metonymy to summarize his claims. Metonymy.
What was the word?
Metonymy.
Metonymy, metonymy, metonymy.
Could you do it one more time? I didn't hear you.
Metonymy, metonymy,
That's correct.
metonymy.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Way to go. And then the Press Citizen spellers.
Niobium. A lustrous light gray metallic element that is used in alloys. Niobium is used in alloys that are part of gas pipelines. Niobium.
Niobium. Niobium. Niobium.
Correct.
Spelled like a good jeweler. And we're ready for the next round already. We're in round 11, and we start with the Kirkwood Killer Bees.
Your word is incommodious, not commodious, inconvenient. Richard could sleep in the most incommodious places. Incommodious.
Incommodious. Incommodious. Incommodious.
Correct.
Incommodious. Very good. Who's next, Jennifer?
Phelan Tucker Spellers.
Laudanum, a tincture of opium. Laudanum was prescribed for many illnesses by 19th century physicians. Laudanum.
Laudanum, Laudanum, laudanum.
Correct.
Excellent. After you've had a little laudanum, you don't even care how it's spelled. Next,
Citizen.
press citizen.
Langostino. Edible crustaceans that are or resemble small lobsters or large shrimp. The soup of the day was a langostino bisque. Langostino.
Langostino. Langostino. Langostino.
Correct.
Great. Excellent. I had it right the first time.
All right, audience members, get those pencils ready for your last word. Somebody has to win this.
We have two more audience.
Oh, we have 2 more audience words?
Really? One more.
I have counted 9. How many out there in the audience have counted
The audience
9?
has 9 too.
All right, I win.
Yeah,
Okay,
we got 11 for some reason, but we can do.
Okay.
We'll just do one more, that's okay.
Easiest one of the last 2.
Let's take this one. Meliorist. One who holds the belief that the world tends to improve and that humans can aid its betterment. Regular library use makes it easier to be a meliorist. Meliorist.
Did you hear that? Everybody understood? Well, heard it? Okay. All right, we are ready for round 12. And we still have 3 teams remaining, starting out with the Kirkwood Killer Bees, sponsored by Kirkwood Community College.
Isthmus, a narrow strip of land bordered on both sides by water. The Isthmus of Panama lies between the Caribbean Sea and the Pacific Ocean, linking North and South America. Isthmus.
Isthmus. Isthmus. Isthmus.
Correct.
All right, Isthmus.
Oh, Phelan Tucker Spellers. They're up there already.
Sepulchral. Of or relating to a sepulcher or tomb. The sepulchral inscription had faded with time and was impossible to read. Sepulchral.
Sepulchral, Sepulchral, sepulchral.
Correct.
Beautiful. And the Press Citizen Speller, sponsored by the Iowa City Press Citizen.
Esotericism. Esoteric doctrines or practices, the quality or state of being esoteric. The philosopher was accused of esotericism. Esotericism.
Esotericism. Esotericism. Esotericism.
Correct.
Very good.
Now take one last look at your audience spelled words, because I know we've got several winners out there. Pass them, make sure your name is on it, and pass it toward the center aisle, the one down the middle. And we will collect them and find the winner. Or the non-winner. if no one has spelled any of them correct.
We always have a winner. In fact, we have had ties before.
And while you're doing that, we will start with round 13. Kirkwood Killer Bees.
Your word is dysentery, a disease characterized by severe diarrhea with passage of mucus and blood and usually caused by infection. Dysentery is initially managed by maintaining fluid intake using oral rehydration therapy. Dysentery.
Patty, what was going on when those girls were making up those words?
Dysentery. D-Y-S-E-N-T-E-R-Y. Dysentery.
Correct.
Very good. And we have the Phelan Tucker spellers.
Panacea, a remedy for all ills or difficulties. Many people go to graduate school with the hope that additional training will be the panacea that keeps them employed. Panacea.
Panacea, P-A-N-A-C-E-A, panacea.
Correct.
That's what Betsy served me on the way out the door. Panacea. Okay, sorry.
Press citizen
The
spellers.
press citizen spellers.
Getting late. He gets worse as time goes on.
Okay? The next word is rutilant, having a reddish glow. His rutilant cheeks are some of Santa Claus's most famous attributes. Rutilant.
Rutilant. R-U-T-I-L-A-N-T. Rutilant.
Correct.
Wow. This is where it gets really amazing. Okay, round 14. Kirkwood Killer Bees.
Objurgation, a harsh rebuke. The supervisor taking away one half of her sales accounts felt like an objurgation. Objurgation.
Objurgation. O-B-J-U-R-G-A-T-I-O-N. Objurgation.
Correct.
Excellent.
Our Phelan Tucker spellers still in there and going strong.
Sycophant, a servile, self-seeking flatterer, a parasite. Hoping to get the grade in class, the sycophant flattered the teacher at every turn. Sycophant.
You did that so well, Ben.
Sycophant. S-Y-C-O-P-H-A-N-T. Sycophant.
Correct.
Very good. And the press citizen spellers.
A feeling of weariness, dissatisfaction, or boredom. The chemistry teacher always tries to make the section on the periodic table fun to prevent ennui from setting in.
Ennui. E-N-N-U-I. Ennui.
Correct.
Very good. Round 15. Kirkwood Killer Bees.
Arborvitae. Any of various evergreen trees and shrubs of the cypress family that usually have closely overlapping or compressed scale leaves and are often grown for ornament and in hedges. Rather than a fence, the property is lined with arborvitae. Arborvitae.
Arborvitae. A-R-B-O-R-V-I-T-A-E. Arborvitae.
Correct.
Great. The Phelan Tucker spellers.
Carapace, a bony or chitinous case or shield covering the back or part of the back of an animal. The carapace on a turtle is almost as long as the animal itself. Carapace.
Carapace, C-A-R-A-P-A-C-E, carapace.
Correct.
Great. And the press citizen spellers.
Hirsute, covered with coarse, stiff hairs. During November, this is a bizarre sentence.
It's a bizarre word.
It says during Movember or mustache November, hirsute, upper lips, are a common sight as many men stop shaving to raise awareness for men's health issues. Hirsute.
Hirsute, Hirsute, hirsute.
Correct.
Maybe we need to start giving them the audience words.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, we are at round 16, and we start with Kirkwood Killer Bees.
Frigate, a light boat propelled originally by oars but later by sails, a modern warship that is smaller than a destroyer. The classic sailing frigate, well known today for its role in the Napoleonic Wars, can be traced back to French developments in the second quarter of the 18th century. Frigate.
Frigate. Frigate. Frigate.
Correct.
Very good. The Phelan Tucker spellers.
Foley, sound effects created for a film. There is no better Foley artist than Maeve Clark.
Absolutely.
Foley, Foley, Foley.
Correct.
And audience, are you resenting these words a little bit? I think so too. All right.
Susan.
Right.
Corpuscent. St. Elmo's fire, a flaming phenomenon sometimes seen in stormy weather at prominent points on an airplane or ship and on land, that is of the nature of a brush discharge of electricity. The old sailors said that if a corpuscent rises in the rigging, it is a sign of fair weather, but if it comes lower down, there will be a storm. Corpuscent.
Corpusant. Corpusant. Corpusant.
Correct.
Wow. So impressive. Round 17, is it, Jennifer?
It's round 17.
Kirkwood Killer Bees.
Fondant, a soft, creamy preparation of sugar, water, and flavorings that is used as a basis for candies or icings. The pastry chef relied on fondant to frost the fanciest cakes. Fondant.
Fondant. Fondant. Fondant.
Correct.
The Phelan Tucker spellers.
Rencounter. To meet by chance or in hostility. There was a rencounter of the troops in the morning. Rencounter.
Rencounter, Rencounter, Rencounter.
Correct.
Very good. And the press citizen spellers.
Jettison, to get rid of as superfluous or encumbering. Omit or forego as a part of a plan as a result of some other decision. Before the ship sank from the gunpowder, the captain decided to jettison some of the barrels. Jettison.
Jettison, Jettison. Jettison.
Correct.
Very good. And the press citizen decided to jettison their old building as they moved back downtown.
18, round 18.
Round 18, who starts?
The Kirkwood Killer Bees.
Of course.
Cormorant. Any of the various dark-colored, web-footed water birds that have a long neck, hooked bill, and distensible throat pouch. The prehistoric cormorant breeds mainly on coasts, nestling on cliffs or in trees. Cormorant.
Cormorant. Cormorant. Cormorant.
Correct.
Phelan Tucker spellers.
Lappet, a fold or flap on a garment or headdress. The lappet on the gown was of a contrasting color. Lappet.
Lappet, Lappet, Lappet.
Correct.
Very good.
Press citizen spellers.
Jackanapes, monkey, ape, an impudent or conceited fellow. Jeff felt that being called a jackanapes was the ultimate insult. Jackanapes.
Jackanapes. Jackanapes. Jackanapes.
Correct.
Wow, amazing. All right, so at the top of round 19, we have Phelan Tucker spellers.
Coiffeuse, a woman who is a hairdresser. Cindy was an outstanding coiffeuse. Coiffeuse.
Coiffeuse. Coiffeuse. Coiffeuse.
Correct.
Oh my gosh, that was a different word. Wow. And so the press citizen spellers.
Pointillism, theory or practice in art of applying small strokes or dots of color to a surface so that from a distance they blend together. Pointillism seemed to be the new fad among the art students. Pointillism.
Pointillism. Pointillism. Pointillism.
Correct.
Wow. Okay, round 20, here we are. Kirkwood Killer Bees.
Zeitgeist, the general intellectual, moral, and cultural climate of an era. Historians may have a hard time determining today's zeitgeist. Zeitgeist.
Zeitgeist, Zeitgeist. Zeitgeist.
Correct.
Very good. The Phelan Tucker spellers.
Infinitesimal, taking on values arbitrarily close to but greater than zero. His progress was infinitesimal. Infinitesimal. Infinitesimal.
Infinitesimal. Infinitesimal. Infinitesimal.
That is incorrect.
Oh, no.
Infinitesimal.
Oh, we're so sorry. So now we go into, congratulations on third place. You, as a different team, were the winning team last year, weren't you? Weren't they? Yeah. This is the winning team last year under a different name, by the way, so congratulations on third place. We now go into a totally different set of rules. Shelley, would you like to read Rule 10?
Yes. Now, when a team misspells a word, the other team will be given an opportunity to spell the same word. If the second team spells the word incorrectly, plus the next word on the pronouncer's list, then that team will be declared the winner. If one of the last two teams misses, and the other team, after correcting the error, misspells the new word, then the misspelled new word shall be referred to the first team. If that team succeeds in correcting the error and then correctly spells the next word on the pronouncer's list, that team will be declared the winner. If both teams misspell the word, both shall continue in the contest, and the team that first misspelled the word shall be given a new word to spell. The competition shall continue as in 10A and 10B, but not after 5 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Thank you, Judge Shelley. We have new words. When the teams have been reduced to 2, which we have, they will now use a new word list, which is separate from the one they have been using. And we would like to say that after a winner has been declared, there will be an award ceremony. So we would like you to all stay if it's not 4 or 5 in the morning.
Okay, so the first spellers are going to be the Kirkwood Killer Bees.
Sybarite, voluptuary, sensualist. The Sybarite shuddered at the thought of living with the Amish. Sybarite.
Sybarite. S-Y-B-A-R-I-T-E. Sybarite.
Correct.
Very good. Okay. And the Press Citizen spellers.
Thaumaturge, a performer of miracles, especially a magician. The crowd gasped at the wonders of the thaumaturge. Thaumaturge.
Thaumaturge. T-H-O-M-A-T-U-R-G. Thaumaturge.
That is not correct. That means you have a chance.
Thaumaturge. T-H-A-U-M-A-T-U-R-G-E. Thaumaturge.
That is correct.
Wow. So the Kirkwood Killer Bees needs to spell the next word properly to win.
Okay. Okay, the word is orotund. Marked by fullness, strength, and clarity of sound, pompous, bombastic, the orotund voice of the charismatic speaker filled the hall without the aid of a microphone. Orotund. Orotund.
O-R-O, oh, Orotund. O-R-O. T-U-N-T. Orotund.
That is incorrect.
So that means, is that word offered back to this
Yes.
team? All right, so the
Press Citizen.
Press Citizen, you get the same word. Would you like it repeated?
My turn. Orotund. O-R-A-T-A-N-T. Orotund.
That was not correct either.
Wow. So, so that's.
We both start
it's
with a new
over,
word.
right. Pardon me?
O-R-O-T-U-N-D.
So close, all right. So we start with Kirkwood Killer Bees again.
Correct.
Imbricate, lying lapped over each other in regular order. His eyes glazed over, trying to find a pattern in the imbricate scales of the snakeskin jacket. Imbricate.
Can we have one more pronunciation, please?
Imbricate.
Imbrocate. I-M-B-R-O-C-A-T-E. Imbrocate.
That is incorrect.
Ooh. So to the Press Citizen group.
Imbricate. I-M-B-R-I-C-A-T-E. Imbricate.
Correct.
There we go, all right. So Now the press citizen spellers have to spell another word correctly in order to win.
The very next word.
That's right.
The next word is risible, capable of or disposed to laugh, arousing or provoking laughter. The more risible members of the audience even laughed between the comedian's jokes. Risible.
Risible. R-I-S-A-B-L-E. Risible.
That is incorrect.
Oh, all right, so it's back to the Kirkwood Killer Bees.
R-I-S-I-B-L-E, risible.
That is correct.
All right, so now do the Killer Bees have to spell the next word correctly? Is that how it goes?
Correct.
Miscegenation. A mixture of races. San Francisco's history has a port of trade and immigration created. San Francisco's history as a port of trade and immigration created an interesting miscegenation. Say it, please, Joan.
Miscegenation.
Miscegenation among its denizens. Miscegenation.
Time to spell.
You must spell. Now.
Miscegenation? Okay. miscegenation. Miscegenation.
That is not correct.
Okay, over to the press citizen spellers.
Miscegenation. M-I-S-Y-G-E-N-A-T-I-O-N. Miscegenation.
That is not correct.
So now we.
M-I-S-C-E-G-E-N-A-T-I-O-N.
M-I-S, is that
Pardon?
M-I-S?
No, M-I-S, yeah, the error over here was an I instead of an E.
Okay, all right. So it goes now again to Kirkwood Killer Bees.
Prognathous. Being or having the lower jaw projecting beyond the upper part of the face. The artist drew an image of Bigfoot with an exaggerated prognathous look. Prognathous.
Prognathous. P-R-O-G-N-A-T-H-O-U-S. Prognathous.
Correct.
Wow. All right, Kirkwood will have to spell the next word correctly.
Scaup. A diving duck with the male having a glossy purplish or greenish head and a black breast and tail. Some attribute the blue bill of scaup ducks to a diet of shellfish. Scaup.
It's you.
No, is it?
Yes.
It's yours? Yes, right. No, they just, no, it is Kirkwood because they just spelled the word.
She just gets a chance to spell those right.
Yeah.
Right, we didn't spell it right, we didn't spell it after they spelled it.
No, they missed the one before.
We started over.
We just spelled prognathous right.
Press citizen, they probably forgot the word now.
Yeah, all right.
Why don't you read the word again, because there's been a lot of...
Could you repronounce the word, please?
Scalp.
Scalp. S-K-A-U-P. Scalp.
That is incorrect.
Okay, so it goes back over to the Kirkwood team.
SCOP, S-C-A-U-P, SCOP.
That's correct.
Oh, all right, so Kirkwood now needs to spell the next word
That's
correctly.
correct. That would be correct, too.
Thank you. I'm not used to
You're
that.
on a roll.
Catarrh. Inflammation of a mucous membrane, especially one chronically affecting the human nose or air passages. The patient's catarrh nearly destroyed his sense of smell and taste. Catarrh.
C-A-T-A-R-R-H, Qatar.
I guess that's it, yeah.
Award ceremony here, so.
Maybe this is
Congratulations. The Kirkwood Killer Bees, first place. The Press Citizen Spellers, second place. And Phelan Tucker Spellers, third place. Thank all of you for coming. We do need those teams to come up and get your reward and have your picture taken. But thank all of you. Next year, if it were me out there, I would have a team because those words are much easier to spell.
Absolutely. Go. The correct spelling? C-A, oh boy. C-A-T-T